In November, we received a call, or we received a notification, us being the Sustainability and the Environment team at Expo 2020, from a team on site saying that they have found a swarm of bees on the Sustainability Pavilion plot, and they have nested on the steel rebar within the plot. So immediately, as soon as we received that notification, and they sent us some pictures and videos, so we immediately contacted the Beekeepers Association and told them about the beehive that we found on site and whether they would be able to come and rescue the beehive and transfer them into a safer place.
So I took all the gears and all the equipment needed and went on site. So we found it was a swarm of bees that was wrapped around steel rebars. It was a very tricky situation, not an easy, straightforward removal. They were completely wrapped around them. So I needed help, and I was by myself. So I asked for some help around, and a brave worker just raised his hand and came and volunteered. The removal itself went very smoothly. We were able to scoop the bees and place them in a card box that was provided by the workers over there. And soon we noticed that the bees were started to fan the little wings, which is an indication that the queen was captured and was inside the box. And these bees were informing their little sisters that the queen was there, so that should all move there. So we didn't have to do much work afterwards. The bees just went by themselves inside the box. So the whole process took maybe 45 minutes. And when all the bees were inside that box, we just securely taped it and closed it and moved it to our bee garden. It was not a wild bee. It was a what we call Apis mellifera, which is a bee that can be kept, it can be managed in a hive, in a beehive. Usually when we are called for rescuing, we get those Arabian dwarf honeybees, which are wild bees that cannot be kept in a box. But this time it was the other type of bees. So it was, I would say, a large swarm, about, I'm not quite sure, but 30,000 bees inside. So the bees were in a transition flight. They were not settled yet. They had not had the time to build their honeycomb. So that's actually why it was also very tricky. Usually when you have a comb, they gather around it and you just take that comb and place it in a box. When they are loose, it's a bit more tricky. So what we do is we spray them with sugar water, a solution of sugar water, so they're sticky and they don't fly all around, and it's easier to scoop them. So the bees now are settled. They are in our bee garden in the sustainable city. They're growing. They at least doubled in size. They produce a lot of eggs and babies and a lot of honey, which is a good indication that they're happy where they are and they're absolutely thriving. When we informed the Expo team, the sustainability team, that these bees are the type that we can actually keep in a hive, they were very enthusiastic about the news and offered to adopt those bees and keep them in our bee garden. And I was really happy and very impressed by really their commitment to sustainability. It was a very good sign that the bees that we rescued actually landed in the sustainable pavilion, and the fact that they adopt the bees really shows their commitment to their mission and their objectives.
Rescuing the bees is just one small example and initiative of a bigger picture that Expo 2020 Dubai aims to deliver when it comes to sustainability. As you know, sustainability is one of our sub-themes in Expo 2020 Dubai, and it's our key focus. Therefore, we have different initiatives across the site to ensure that we follow or we work towards achieving our vision, which is hosting one of the most sustainable World Expos in history. Now, of course, as I said, rescuing the beehive is one example of the different relocations and rescuings that we've had for different kinds of fauna around the site since before we begin construction on site and to date. So all of the teams on site are aware of the process that we need to follow if we happen to encounter or find any kind of fauna or flora on site, and what do they need to do in order to make sure these fauna are transferred into a safer place.